Good morning, children. How are you all? I hope you all are fine and safe at your homes. Today, I'm going to take you to the sky. Do you know how? We are going to the sky through the poem Geography lesson with the poet Zulfikar Ghosh. This poem is all about poets' feelings. In this poem, the poet is trying to present how the city looks like, how the entire valley looks like as we go higher and higher and higher. So I told you, we are going to learn a new poem. The name of the poem is Geography Lesson. It's written by Zulfikar Ghosh. First, let me tell you about the poet. He is a native of Pakistan. He is a poet, novelist and essayist. His works display a fusion of harsh reality and some magical moments. In this poem, the poet presents picture of a city, logic of geography and narrow-mindedness of people. The first stanza is about picture of a city. So, take your textbook. We are going to read the poem. Take the page number 34. The name of the poem is Geography Lesson. When the jet sprang into the sky, it was clear why the city had developed the way it had. Seeing its scale 6 inches to the mile, there seemed an inevitability about what on ground had looked haphazard, unplanned and without style, when the jet sprang into the sky. Listen the first stanza. See the first line, when the jet sprang into the sky. From this we can understand that now the poet is in a jet and the jet has taken off into the sky. It was clear why the city had developed the way it had. When it rose, he could see the city, the buildings, the streets underneath him. As he was flying high, it was getting clear to him why the city had developed the way it had been. And he could understand the logic behind the development of that city. Seeing its scale 6 inches to the mile, this line suggests as you go higher, the height between jet and the ground. The height between jet and the ground. This 6 inches to the mile is just a proportion given by the poet. He doesn't know exactly where he is. Anyway, he is saying that his height is not that much. This is about 6 feet from the ground. There seemed an inevitability about what on ground had looked haphazard, unplanned and without style when the jet sprang into the sky. So here, when he looked through the window of the jet, he could see the city. How the city was, which was haphazard. What is the meaning of haphazard? Unplanned, without any order, without any style, without any plan. So the city was unplanned when he looked through the window, which seemed inevitable. What is the meaning of inevitable? Unavoidable from the sky also. So what looked haphazard on the ground, which seemed unavoidable from the sky also. The houses, the streets, the roads, everything under him, all were arranged in a random way. All were scattered and unplanned. All were in an unplanning way. And all were disordered. He could see through the window of the jet. So when he reached 6 inches to the mile, he got a clear picture of a city. This is the explanation of the first stanza. The first stanza is saying about the picture of a city. Listen to the second stanza. When the jet reached 10,000 feet, it was clear why the country had cities where the rivers ran and why the valleys were populated. the logic of geography, the land and water attracted man, was clearly delineated when the jet reached 10,000 feet. Listen the second stanza. When the poet reached 10,000 feet, he could see why the country had divided into cities. He could clearly understand why the country had divided into cities. And he also said that why the people are staying near the rivers. He clearly understood why the people were staying near the rivers, why the land near river is very fertile and it's very easy for them to grow crops and to pursue agriculture. And why the valleys were populated? Because it met the necessities of people. So he understood why the land near the river is populated, and why the valleys were populated, and why the country had divided into cities. In the logic of geography, the land and water attracted man was clearly delineated when the jet reached 10,000 feet. So when the jet reached 10,000 feet, he could understand the logic of geography. He also learned the logic of geography. What is the logic of geography? The land and water attracted man. And here he understood that the people are settling near the rivers to get necessary things for them. And the people are settling in the areas where there is availability of water and where there is good land. This made the poet realize that people are depending upon water and land for their existence. So when the jet reached about 10,000 feet, he understood the logic of geography. What is the logic of geography? The land and water attracted man. And this was clearly delineated. The land and water attracted man. This was clearly shown, clearly picturized when the jet reached 10,000 feet. So when the jet reached 6 inches to the mark, he got a clear picture of a city. And when the jet reached about 10,000 feet, he got the logic of geography. And when the jet rose 6 miles high, it was clear the earth was round and that it had more sea than land. So now the jet has risen to 6 miles in height. At that time it was very clear for the poet the shape of the earth. What is the shape of the earth? It's a round. And he also understood another thing, that the earth has more water than land. Children, we all know about the fact that earth has 70% of water than land. So here he got the shape of the earth, and the earth has more water than land. He understood these things very clearly. He got a true structure of a city. He learned logic of geography, and he understood the shape of the earth, and he understood that the earth has more water than land. But he never understood one thing. What is that? But it was very difficult for him to understand that the men on the earth found causes to hate each other, to build walls across cities and to kill. From that height it was not clear why. But it was very difficult for the poet to understand why people on the earth find reasons to hate each other, and why people on the earth find reasons to kill each other, and why people on the earth build walls across cities, and why there are barriers among them, and why they build borders, why they erect walls, why they create fences. Here the poet cannot understand why people are selfish and why people are narrow-minded. So I told you that the last stanza is about the narrow-mindedness of people. The poet says that he understood the earth to be one. But the people on the earth are divided for shallow reasons. Why? He is asking. So, here the poet says that he can understand very clearly the picture of a city when he reaches 6 inches to the mile, and he got a clear picture of the logic of geography. What is logic of geography? Land and water attracted men. He understood these things very clearly. The shape of the earth, and the earth has more water than land. He understood these many things very clearly. But he never understood one thing that remains mystery in the mind of the poet. What is that mystery? Why people hate each other and why people find reasons to kill each other. I hope you understood this poem, and I'm going to explain one thing, that is the poetic device used in this poem. That is called one poetic device is used by the poet in this poem. First line you can see, when the jet sprang into the sky. Listen, the first line, when the jet sprang into the sky. And the same line is repeated in the last line of the first stanza, when the jet sprang into the sky. Two lines are repeated. So here this repetition of a line in a stanza is called refrain. Repetition of a line in a stanza is called refrain. What is refrain? Repetition of a line in a stanza to create musical effect or rhyming effect. That is called refrain. And see the second stanza, when the jet reached 10,000 feet. That line is repeated. Listen the last line of the second stanza, when the jet reached 10,000 feet. Here also poet used the same poetic device, that is called refrain. What is it? Refrain. So the poem says about the poet's perspectives. That is, first stanza is about the picture of a city, and the second stanza is about logic of geography. And this many things he understood very clearly, but this particular thing, the narrow-mindedness of people, he couldn't understand. I hope you all understood the poem. Thank you.